So, hey, I'm gonna record. Is that okay?
Yeah. I'm just gonna grab my coffee.
Okay. So, I wanted to talk about why I started this vlog. There's a few reasons. There's really, I guess, three main ones. The first is to hold myself accountable to my goals. The second is that I'm really just trying something different in terms of the work I produce, and I'll get into what I mean by that in a sec. And the third reason is to potentially make some money, and by putting my name out there and starting up the business and all that sort of stuff. In terms of a vlog, this is going to be the vlog for this week. There's so many bees and bugs out here. It's really beautiful. The garden's really alive. There's tomatoes and herbs and lavender and rosemary and all sorts of things around here. It's really beautiful. So, in terms of holding myself accountable to my goals, well, what are my goals? Well, my goals are to restore my mental and physical health. And how that relates to me starting a vlog was that, in the simplest terms, it was, I think I've mentioned before that, fear has been a good motivator for me in the past. I would have said that fear is not a good reason to do things in life. You don't want to be driven by fear, as in, you're always coming at everything from a place of fear. But fear can be useful, and approaching things that we're afraid of can be really generative and productive. And I've definitely found that, especially in the work that I've done. But look, I'm in the worst shape I've been in, certainly physically, probably in my entire life. I know I have a video that I want to do on my weight, and I probably have a few videos that I want to do on my weight and my mental health as it relates to my body and my body image and self-worth and all that sort of stuff. But holding myself accountable to my goals by filming myself, I have found increasingly that I'm able to see myself and my relationships objectively. I can see myself in the world in a very literal way. I find these vlogs helpful, and I have always played around with filming myself. Something else I want to do a video about is my whole relationship with self-improvement and video and all that, and documenting myself. But for right now, in the past, whenever I've done it, it's never gone anywhere. I've never put it out. But this time around, I'm like, man, I need to change so many things. And it's not about self-improvement. It's just about getting back to myself. And really just seeing whether or not I'm leading the life that I intend to. And so that's what I mean by holding myself accountable. Physically, I'm in really bad shape. It's not just weight, it's how out of condition, how out of shape I am. I don't think I've ever been this unfit. Maybe only once before. My weight has yo-yoed drastically, and I've been through periods of extreme sort of I've been really obese, and I've been really inactive, but this is something else. So I really want to document me undertaking this task of trying to completely restore my physical health. And it's not just about weight loss. It's about fitness. It's about being able to breathe again. And it's about walking up and down a flight of stairs without breaking into a sweat that goes through all my clothes. And it's about not being uncomfortable everywhere I am because my clothes are too tight, or I'm too hot, or I'm sweating. Some of the sweating has to do with medication I'm on. You know, the sweating is ridiculous. It's really gotten bad. But as much as, you know, like whatever amount of my sweating issue at the moment is to do with my medication, the lion's share is to do with the fact that I'm really overweight and I'm terribly out of shape. And it's having all sorts of effects on my day-to-day life, but it's also affecting my relationship. I mean, without being too graphic about things, I mean, intimacy at times can require a certain amount of physical exuberance, let's say, and energy. And you know, there's things where I you know, I feel uncomfortable in day-to-day stuff. I feel particularly uncomfortable in sort of intimate scenarios. I don't like how I look, and I feel uncomfortable. People who watch this vlog probably noticed that I didn't go in the water at the beach. I didn't go in the water at the beach. I don't go in the water at the swimming pool or at the beach or anything like that. I don't like to have my shirt off in public. I'm quite embarrassed, really. But as I say, it's about a whole lot more than just weight loss and physical appearance. It's about how I feel as a human being. And I don't feel good. I don't feel up to the task of living a life. Now, you know, my obviously my health overall, mental and physical, has really declined and degraded. And obviously those things have gone hand in hand. But we're talking years of decline now, and we're talking about 3 suicide attempts, and we're talking about some pretty long stretches of what I really can only describe as agoraphobia. You know, there have been patches in my life where I haven't left the house, and when I say I'm trying to restore my physical health, I'm talking about getting back in my body or getting back into the world in a very literal sense, but also in a kind of like a spiritual and a sort of greater sense. Like, as I say, I barely leaving the house, you know, up until recently. Finding it very hard to be out, very hard to be in a crowd. I haven't been to a gig or a nightclub or anything like that in a long time. And that's sad. Like, I don't want life to pass me by and not to be able to do those things. There's lots of things I want to do. I want to experience the city again. I want to experience being alive again. I want to experience live music again. Bella really likes live music, and I basically never go with her. And I feel awkward about that. I don't like that. So there's lots of things I want to get back to. But yeah, like, you know, I have really bad social anxiety. I have had that for a long time, and you know, that is why I started this vlog, because I wanted to motivate myself, hold myself accountable, stick to this thing. And quite frankly, because I've dug such a big hole for myself over the years, I feel as if I need something big to dig myself out. And I'm like, fuck it, I don't care. I'm going to put it on the internet. Like, if this doesn't motivate me to, it's not about motivating me to change or kicking myself in the ass or anything like that. I don't need any of the sort of, as much as I like Dave Goggins, I don't really need that stuff. I just very calmly and pragmatically needed a boost and needed a bigger adventure. And the fact that I'm interested in doing this speaks to my desire to reconnect with people and the world around me. So that's the first thing, is holding myself accountable. The second reason I started this vlog was that writing takes a really long time as a pursuit. It's a, you know, for me, it's been a career, it's been a hobby, it's been a lifestyle, it's been all sorts of different things. But let's just say as an activity, it takes a really long time. And I have, because of the shape I've been in physically and mentally, I haven't had as much patience with writing as I used to. And the stories are still there. My desire to write is still there, but the actual doing of the writing has not been there quite like it was, pre-COVID, really. And I think the medication I'm on also sort of deadened me a little bit. It sort of took the edge off me a little bit. And there's a positive to that, but there's also some negative consequences of that. And my relationship with writing and reading has changed. When I talk about wanting to get back into life and my body and all that sort of stuff, like one of the things I want to get back into is reading a hell of a lot more. I feel like I haven't read for a while, and I'm not happy about that. But yeah, it's a slow process. This is going to be a slow 12 months. It's going to take a while to get these things going again. But look, I really just needed something else. And when I started the memoir with Mom, I was like, one of the best ways for us to get more information down quickly would be to just record us talking. And that's how the podcast came about. It sort of evolved out of conversations that we already were having, that I was recording. And I was recording for the purpose of, taking notes later. So I'd be like asking questions, this. And, Mum would give me answers, and I'd go away and play the recording. I'd play the recording back, just an audio file on my phone. And, I'd get pieces of information that I needed for the book, write those things down. But, I also had tons of leftover material where I was like, I don't know what to do with this. Like, sometimes Mum and I could be really funny together. Sometimes, she would tell a story, or I would go off on a tangent, and I would think, I should write an article about that. Or I would have something on my mind because I was writing an article, or I was trying to, and I would tell Mum my idea. It would just come up in conversation and we'd talk. And I was like, well, there's not a lot of motivation to now go and write that article or to put that in written form. And because, as I say, writing has been a bit of a struggle for me over the last few years, I really just got to a place where I was like, maybe I can start doing oral versions of my articles and my essays and things that I want to write, like, rather than sitting there and it's not being afraid of hard work, but rather than work so hard and get tired and sort of frustrated, maybe you can just give yourself a break and why don't you just sit down and record it, like tell a story. And so that's how the vlog evolved, and the Friday videos have evolved out of that. Hello. Hi. Okay. What you doing? Oh, there you go. I'm nearly finished. I'm sort of like, I don't know, 15 minutes.
Yeah. Good thing. I'm chilling. I think I might have a look in the garden for ingredients. I saw a rosella.
Oh, cute.
He said hello to me.
Nice.
There's kangaroo.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Kangaroo. And a kookaburra right there. If you just look out, straight out that way,
Oh.
where those branches are. Wildlife's amazing. Hi, Coffee.
So, yeah, look, my writing was kind of stagnating, and I just needed something else to kind of like kick it up a gear. And this sort of became an option. The other thing too was that as a writer, you're always waiting for publication. So you've written a piece, it's a good piece, but no one wants it. Or you've got an editor who says yes and then doesn't come back to you, or the publisher likes the book but they want you to remove a character or, you know, a chapter, and then you just have that chapter just sitting out there and you don't really know what to do with it. So I kind of got really tired of all that stuff. Was really dragging me down. I love writing and I'll always write. There's no doubt about it. But as my career took off and evolved, writing is like this. I ended up having quite a negative relationship with it because of all the rubbish around it. Like it's so much more than just the act of writing. Like dealing, as I say, with publishers and editors and where should I put this story? Who should I submit it to? And all that stuff. I have been too tired and too unwell and too unhappy in my life to be bothered losing energy on all that shit. And also, like, the publishing world has become like increasingly PC, and like there are so many things that I intend to say or want to say that I'm like, no one's going to publish this, like it's going to be a headache. So for all those reasons, I decided that doing an oral version of my ideas is something I'm permitting myself to do now, which years ago I wouldn't have. Before I published books, I was like, you can't do anything except publish through a traditional publisher. Now that I've had those experiences, I'm like, I think I'm just going to allow myself to do what I like, because I'm trying to be kinder to myself overall. And that really brings me to my third reason that I started a vlog, which was sort of becoming my own boss, allowing myself to do what I wanted. And in that process has been this desire to potentially open up other avenues for income and making money. I am in the midst of starting a business. And that business, which I've discussed in the past, is public speaking, mental health advocacy, as well as, writing, coach and mentor. But, the vlogs and going online I see as a good opportunity for me to showcase my skill base, I guess, as someone who can speak reasonably well. I come from an education background. I've said that before. I've lectured and taught at tertiary level for, I think nearly the best part of 15 years. And, you know, if I'm honest, much like the hassle of dealing with publishers and editors and the publishing industry and what that's become, the education industry, or industry, I guess, is something else that I have grown increasingly frustrated and tired of, and it's sort of a space I don't really want to be in anymore. And I'm searching for opportunities that are more interesting than the ones I'd find in education. I've done a few small radio projects in the past, and look, ultimately I'm just, where my interests are concerned, this overlap between mental health and writing and education, it's sort of, I'm just interested in narrative and storytelling, and I'm interested in people's experiences and giving people the tools or the permission to tell their stories. And I think I can do that or encourage that by telling my own to some extent. So for all those reasons, I started the vlog. And as I say, you know, I thought it was a good little chance to sort of showcase or demonstrate, you know, what skills I have, as well as to just put my name out there and say, hey, this is who I am. My name's Tobe Allen, and I'm interested in a whole bunch of stuff. And if you think I could be useful to you, you know, if you work in media or you have a podcast or you need a speechwriter or you want someone to come to your school or your business and talk about their mental health journey, or run a writing workshop, or you're trying to write a family history, or your own memoir or a novel, or you want to write a book with your son or your mother, or on behalf of your son or your mother, I know I have skills and experiences that can help you. And if you're out there and you can see a purpose to me or a way to utilize me, then I'm available. I feel like so many of the traditional forms for working and you know, like the world's changing. The world's changing in a big way, and you know, it's not like I'm worried about getting left behind. I'm just like, I don't really care anymore. If you're interested in what I'm doing and you want to do something with me, collaborate, use me for something, or ask for help, and you want to hire me, like, fine, let's do it. Like, that's fine. You know, I've worked on research projects in the past. I've got a PhD. I've done stuff. So if you want help, and you know, if you're looking for a writer, or you're interested in the articles that I would write but can't be bothered because I can't be bothered waiting for a yes or a no. If you want to jump the queue and say, hey, I have a publication, I've watched your videos, and I'd love you to do an article about X, Y, or Z, great, I'll write that article for you, you know? But I just don't want the hassle anymore of waiting. And I didn't say there was a fourth reason, but I guess it's really the primary reason, is because I just want to make something. I just want to make shit. And really that's what I got so fed up with in education, and fed up with in arts organizations and universities, and you know, isn't this all just about making stuff? Everything became such a bureaucratic nightmare, and still is a bureaucratic nightmare. I just want to make stuff. I want the joy of living and the joy of writing and telling stories and people's experiences, including the bad stuff. Even the bad stuff is joyous because it's life, right? We need to celebrate life, not condemn it, not tuck it away. All of that should be preserved. And I want to make stuff. And I want to preserve all that good stuff. including my bad days, and even the frivolous meaninglessness of Kingsley rolling around, doing his rollies in the morning. I want to preserve all that. I want to make something out of it, and I want to put it up. So for all those reasons, I started a vlog, and Bella's waving at me right now, and I'm feeling better. It's so beautiful. I'm going to get back to it.